Hey guys, so I tried to go live. I've been trying to go live, and it hasn't been working. I don't know why. It just keeps booting me and saying that something's going wrong. I don't know what's going wrong because Miss Vaughn is apparently able to do it from her laptop. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the problem. But I, on Mondays and Fridays, will be doing hopefully a live stream. Like, I eventually will be able to do live streams for the 6th graders. So if you aren't in 6th grade, you can still watch. That's fine. But this is going to be targeted specifically for the 6th graders. It's supposed to be a half hour, but because we're not live and you guys don't, like, you can't ask me questions as I go, I'm not 100% sure we'll make it to a half hour. But again, if you guys have questions, you can either comment on stuff in the Google Classroom if you've joined. You can either email me. You can text us in the Google Hangouts. It's all up to you guys, whatever's easier for you. I think we still only have 2. I'm trying to look right now. Oh no, we have 3. Chris Hedrick, shout out to you for joining the Google Classroom. But we still only have 3 students that have joined the Google Classroom, and there are 15 of you in Terra. So we don't even have a third of you guys yet. So you guys need to join the Google Classroom. I sent out instructions to your parents about how to join. So if they didn't get those instructions, not all of you guys had an email listed under your contacts for the school. So try to reach out to me. My email is paige.miller@summitacademies.org. If you guys can't figure out how to get in Google Classroom, I think I'm going to start calling parents on Monday to get you guys added because there's already assignments posted. We don't really want you guys to fall too terribly behind. I know we keep telling you to work at your own pace, but if you decide during, week 4 of the 4th grading period is when you're going to start working, you're definitely behind. There is a recommended pace for everything that we upload. It's just up to you guys on whether or not you want to do it. So I uploaded a video yesterday of a reading of pages 154 and 155 from your reading packets. I'll go over the questions for those right now. And then we can start to dive into the grammar packet because I think it was Dimitri commented on something else about a question on the grammar packet, but it was just, I think that he had a question, not a specific question. But I will leave comments open on this video, so if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you guys can leave them, and then I'll keep checking this video once I upload it every hour or so. So if you guys have a question, you're not sitting around waiting for me forever to answer it. Okay, so we're going to get started. So page 154 had 2 of the cite evidence questions. Question 1 was in paragraph 16, circle the restatement that helps define the term food web. Is this an academic word or a domain-specific one? Explain. So if you are on page 154, each of the paragraphs are numbered. So go to paragraph 16. It's the 2nd paragraph on page 154. And it says, within an ecosystem, there exists a food web, a system in which living things depend on one another for survival. For example, plants grow and then animals eat them and other animals. Bacteria, in turn, feed on dying plants and animals. If an ecosystem is changed, the food web can be upset and life forms can die. So the question is asking you to circle the restatement that helps define the term food web. So you would just underline whatever you think the definition is. Hint, hint, the definition is directly after they state the word. And then it asks, is this a academic word or a domain-specific one? So I uploaded on the Google Classroom, which is why you should join it, a list of definitions and terms so that we made sure we all had the same definitions and terms, like the correct ones to use. and it included academic vocabulary and domain-specific vocabulary. If you go to my live stream from Wednesday, I don't know at what point, I think it was in the beginning of the video, like the first maybe half hour, I did give the definitions of domain-specific and academic-specific vocabulary. So that is already on the YouTube channel. On Cite Evidence B, it says in paragraph 17, what is the meaning of the word resources? Underline context clues that help you determine the word's meaning. What other kinds of resources are there? Do you think the word resources is academic or domain specific? So there's like 3 parts to this question. Make sure that you answer them all to receive full credit. So paragraph 17, what is the meaning of the word resources? Resources is at the end of the paragraph. So it says, nevertheless, humans have been going into tundra for many years in search of rich natural resources such as coal, lead, iron, and oil. So what is the meaning of resources? That is up to you to define using the context clues, underline context clues that help you determine the word's meaning. So this can just be, again, like a reinstatement of what it is. This can be examples that it gives, examples of what it is not. However you guys determine the meaning of resources is 100% up to you. I know we all learn differently. So going into the second part of that question, what other kinds of resources are there? It lists examples at the end of the paragraph. You should circle, there are 4 examples, so you should have 4 circles on your paper. 1 second. Okay, sorry I had to sneeze. I didn't think you wanted me to do that on here. Okay, so do you think the word resources is academic or domain specific? So again, think of like how you use these words every day. So is resources, if I say I don't have the proper resources to build a Lego castle, is that a word that you guys use in your everyday vocabulary, or is that a word that you would specifically use in a maybe science, English, social studies, math class? That's one way to help you think of academic and domain specific. Another way to keep them separate, I like to think about it, is if it's a word you already know the definition to, it's probably an academic specific word, but if it's domain specific, you might not immediately know the definition. Okay, so moving on to page 155. Okay, in paragraph 17, this is number 1. In paragraph 17, what is another way of saying nevertheless? So if you go back to paragraph 17, it says, nevertheless, humans have been going into tundra for many years. So it gives you 4 different options. What I like to do when it asks me to identify words like this, I like to put the options, like replace nevertheless in that paragraph with these options, and you guys can pick the one that makes the most sense. So, even so, humans have been going into tundra for many years in search of rich natural resources. And humans have been going into tundra for many years in search of rich natural resources. Because of that, humans have been going into tundra for many years in search of rich natural resources. Or, humans have been going into tundra for many years in search of rich natural resources. So you guys are going to choose the one that sounds best to you. I personally thought B and D, which are and or, those ones were not the best options. I would not go with B or D, but that does narrow it down to A or C. Number 2, in paragraph 19, which word is a synonym for impact? So remember, synonyms are words that have the same or similar meaning. So you can do this the same way. Let me find what sentence. Okay. So it says global warming is having a significant impact on tundra environments. So same thing, use the words listed in the multiple choice section and add those words in where impact is, and whichever one makes most sense is probably the correct answer. So, a significant impact on, oh, I messed that up. I didn't replace the word. Global warming is having a significant on tundra environments. Global warming is having a significant creating on tundra environments. Global warming is having a significant effect on tundra environments. Or global warming is having a significant changing on tundra environments. I will say again, B and D really didn't make sense for that one, so I'll leave it down, narrows it down to A and C for you guys, but one of those did repeat 2 words in a row, so it's probably not the right answer. Okay, so moving on to number 3. How does your understanding of the term resources in paragraph 17 help you better understand how humans have affected tundra environments? So this one's an extended response question that means you guys need to answer in 2 to 3 complete sentences. Don't put, it gives examples of what we do, because that's not specific. It doesn't answer the question. That's not how you should be answering the questions. So if you go back to paragraph 17, the entire paragraph reads, an ecosystem can change because humans invade it. Few people actually live in the harsh tundra environments. Nevertheless, humans have been going into tundra for many years in search of rich natural resources such as coal, lead, iron, and oil. So again, the question asks, how does your understanding of the term resources in paragraph 17 help you better understand how humans have affected tundra environments? I would specifically look at the examples that they give you and also the first sentence in the paragraph. It says an ecosystem can change because humans invade it. It doesn't necessarily say how we change it, but if we're taking away things like coal, lead, iron, and oil, how would that affect the rest of the resources, the tundra, the environment that they're in? Keep that in mind as you answer question 3. Again, that should be in 2 to 3 sentences. I am going to be posting more videos, hopefully today, of me reading more for you guys. But that is so far all we've done in the packets. The questions that were on page 153, I don't think any of the 6th graders were on my live on Wednesday. But I answered or tried to give you guys pointers for all the questions on page 154 in that live. So if you go back and find Wednesday's live feed, you'll be able to find the answer to those questions. If you guys don't know what video it is, it's the video of Winston and I in the thumbnail. So I could try to upload all of my videos with Winston in the thumbnail so you guys know which one is your English stuff, if that would help you. Okay. So we're going to get into the grammar packet. All of the page numbers for this packet are numbered. So I'm going to go off page numbers so you guys know where I am. The page numbers are on the bottom center. You can't really see it because my video camera isn't that great. But the page numbers are on there. So if you have the actual packet in front of you, look at the bottom center of the page and it'll have the page numbers. But page 15, which is the first page you guys should have gotten, is just a list of noun definitions. So a common noun names any person, place, thing, or idea. So examples of common nouns are relative, country, boat, and freedom. Remember, this can be any person, place, or thing. So like Miss Miller would be a common noun. No, just kidding. Scratch that. A common noun would be any person. So like teacher. So I am a teacher, so that would be my common noun. But if you move down to proper noun, a proper noun names a specific person, place, thing, or idea. The difference between a proper noun and a common noun is the word specific. This is where it gets confusing. I even slipped up for a moment there. It happens. But a proper noun would be Miss Miller. Think of like things you capitalize, names, places. Like if I say I live in a state, state would be a common noun because it's a place. But the proper noun would be I live in the state of Ohio, because Ohio is a proper noun. It should be capitalized. That's one way you guys can think of it when you're going over this. Singular nouns. Name one person, place, thing, or idea. So runner, city, bear, happiness. Notice how those words do not have happiness does. But that's because it's an idea. But those words are single. So I said runner, city, bear. Plural nouns are words that name more than one. So it would be runners, cities, bears, and then it lists examples, workers, schools, horses. Singular nouns and plural nouns can both fall under common nouns and proper nouns. So you have common nouns and proper nouns here. Words can also be a singular noun and a proper noun. So think of it as common noun and proper noun are up here, and then singular and plural nouns are under here. So that's page 15. Moving on to page 16. This page, I guess, outlines it a little better than I was trying to explain it because there's an actual visual. But it asks you to define whether something is a proper and common, and then whether it is a plural or singular. So I'm going to, we'll dance around a bit. Why don't we do, how about I do the evens and you guys can do the odds on your own? We'll do it that way. That's fine. Let me grab a pencil so I can actually do this with you guys. So number 2 is Canada. Is Canada a proper or common noun? Well, if you look at Canada, it is a specific place, right? And it's capitalized. So I would go ahead and circle proper noun. And then is it a plural or singular noun? Canada, it's just Canada. Not Canada's, just Canada. So it is singular. So for number 2, you should have proper and singular circled. For number 4, Butte Falls. Butte Falls looks like it's a place because it's capitalized. So I would say that that's probably a proper noun again. And then if you go over to plural and singular, this one's kind of tricky. Butte Falls, it does have an S on the end, which would make you think that it's plural, but it's still only one city. So I would say, honestly, for 14, if you put plural, I won't count it wrong, but I would say it's singular because you can't have, like, think of like Cuyahoga Falls. You could technically have more than one city that's named Cuyahoga Falls, but Cuyahoga Falls is one city outside of Akron. So then 6, libraries. Is it a proper or common noun? Libraries is not capitalized, and it does not have like a specific branch in front of it. So like where I live, we go to the Parma Snow Library, but this is just libraries. It doesn't have like a name in front of it. So I would say this is a common noun. And then if you guys go over to plural and singular, it says libraries. It has IES at the end, so it is plural. And then if you guys go to number 8, it is city. Is city a proper or common noun? Well, a city is not a specific place, and it's not capitalized, so I would say it is common. And then if you go over to plural and singular, it's just city. There's no IES or just S at the end, so I would go with singular. For number 10, it says Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is a specific character, so I would go with proper noun. Also, Mickey Mouse is capitalized, you know that's someone's name. Mickey Mouse, is it plural or singular? It's just Mickey Mouse. It's not Mickey Mouse apostrophe or Mickey Mouses. So that would be singular. And then number 12, Al Daniels. Again, that is, it sounds like someone's name, so you would go with proper noun for that one because it is a specific name. And then it has plural or singular. Again, this one's really tricky. I know some of you guys have names that are like Daniels, has an S at the end, but it's not necessarily plural. And how it's written in your packet, it doesn't show like an apostrophe, which would be possession or anything. So I'm going to say, I would say singular for this one. But again, if you guys put plural, that's fine. I'll accept that answer too, because I understand where you guys are coming from. But again, I would say singular because it's someone's, like if you were to say, this is the Miller's house, or all of the Millers live there, all of the Millers, that would be plural. But how this guy's last name is written, I would say singular. Let's see. So we will, I guess, do page 17 and then call it quits because that's 5 pages worth of stuff, and I feel like no one wants to do more than 5 pages of work for each class. So page 17, this is still rule number 4 with all of our nouns. Actually, we're going to do page 17 and 18 because those are the last 2 parts of this rule number 4, and then it moves into rule number 5. So, write all the proper nouns from the sentences. Remember to capitalize each proper noun. So, some of these, we're going to do the even ones again, and then you guys will be responsible for doing the odds. But you're looking at this and basically trying to figure out what words need to be capitalized. Again, remember, specific things, companies, countries, cities, names. So like Summit Academy Middle School, when you guys write that, you would capitalize Summit Academy Middle and School because that's a specific place. It's a building, it's an establishment, you would capitalize stuff like that. So looking at number 2, it says her office is in Denver, Colorado. You guys do not need to rewrite the entire sentence. You just need to rewrite the proper nouns that need to be capitalized. So for this one, I would capitalize Denver. And I would capitalize Colorado because that is a specific city and a specific state. For number 4, Doris drives a Colt Vista to work each day. This one's a little tricky because it doesn't have something as specific as a state or a city. But I would say a Colt Vista is the type of car maybe that she drives. So I would capitalize Colt and Vista. Number 6. From the train station, the commuters take Peterson Street to reach their office. So again, a specific street name. So in this case, it's Peterson. So you capitalize Peterson in this sentence. Number 8. Francisco and Dennis always order a mega burger. There's a specific name listed in this. So Francisco's already capitalized, but you would also capitalize Dennis. And then for number 10, Doris and her coworkers enjoy their jobs in Denver and their homes in Bailey. So there are 2 different things you should capitalize in this, 2 different cities. The first city I would capitalize is Denver. And then the second city I would capitalize is Bailey. Because I live in Parma, but I work in Akron. So that just kind of shows how there's 2 different cities in that sentence. Sorry if you heard that, I just had an email. Okay, so page 18, this is the last page for the Rule 4 work. Underline all the nouns in the sentences below, then rewrite the proper nouns on the lines. Be sure to capitalize the proper nouns. Some sentences may contain no proper nouns. So you are capitalizing all nouns. This is any person, place, thing, idea, anything like that. I would recommend looking at page 15 again. Keep the definitions close to you while you work on something like this. So I, again, will do the evens if you guys will do the odds individually. Just because I'm doing the evens does not mean I won't help you with the odds. So if you have questions about the odds, if you want to email me, please email me and say what page you are working on specifically and what number you're confused on. So if you're on page 18 and you don't understand number 1, please tell me that so I can specifically help you with the question you're confused with. So starting at number 2, Nolan's favorite group is the Beach Boys. So if you are underlining all the nouns, Nolan, that's a person. So you would underline Nolan. And then the Beach Boys, that's a band. So you guys would, first you'd have to rewrite Beach Boys because it's a proper noun that is not capitalized. They made an error. And you'd also underline Beach Boys because that's the name of the band. Number 4, the boys like to watch old movies too. So this one, there's nothing that needs to be capitalized. There are no proper nouns, but there are nouns. So remember, person, place, or thing, boys. Boys are a type of person. So you would underline boys. You could also underline movies because movies could be considered a thing. It's something, I like to think of nouns as things that you can like be at or like physically touch, and you can touch a movie. Number 6, Tobias likes to watch Joan Crawford movies. So again, Tobias is already capitalized, so you're good there, but it is a noun, so you do need to underline it. Likes to watch Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford is a person, but it's not capitalized, so I would underline Joan, underline Crawford, and then rewrite Joan Crawford because it does need to be capitalized. It is a proper noun because it's a name, a specific name. And then movies, again, you could just underline it because movies could be a noun. Number 8, they also like to play old card games like Old Maid and Go Fish. So again, they also like to play old card games, I guess, could be a noun if you want to be really picky and like specific with it. So you would just underline card games. And then it says like Old Maid and Go Fish. So those are specific names of card games, card game brands. So I would underline Old Maid and underline Go Fish, and then I would capitalize the O and the M in Old Maid, and then the G and the F in Goldfish to make it a proper noun. And the last one, maybe Tobias and Nolan will be historians when they grow up. So again, Tobias and Nolan, those are the really specific, kind of easy ones. Those are proper nouns because they are a specific name, so you should rewrite and underline Tobias and Nolan will be historians when they grow up. Historians is also a noun because it's a more general way of talking about a person. So for example, like Mr. Andrews might be considered a historian because he teaches social studies, but you don't necessarily have to say his name. You would know that I'm talking about, if I were to say which teacher could be considered a historian, you would maybe think of Mr. Andrews, and that's how you would describe him. So underline historians, but it does not need to be capitalized because it's more of a general blanket term, not a specific name. So that is all of Rule 4, and then we went over some of the questions in the packet you guys were assigned. So that's really all I have for you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't do this live. I don't know why it didn't work. I have all weekend to figure it out because I will be going live again on Monday at 11 a.m. So we'll go from there. Hopefully it will work. If it does not work, I might post a video again like I'm doing now. It might be a little late, but I promise I will get a video to you guys of me going over these packets and trying to do instruction with you. The other thing too, don't forget, if you have not joined the Google Classroom already, I'm going to extend the deadline of the first writing prompt, but on the Google Classroom, I'm going to give you guys one writing prompt a week, just so you guys, they might be boring. You might think they're boring. I'm trying to find stuff that isn't boring, but it's going to be stuff that you guys are going to write about. I'm trying to pick different topics. If you have a specific topic you want to write about, let me know. But yes, we're going to be doing weekly writing prompts. And then hopefully when we return from our spring break, I'll have something a little more fun, a little more concrete for us to do, possibly like a project you guys can try to work on from home. But that is all I have for you today. But I will hopefully see you guys Monday and everything will go according to plan. Bye!